Across the world, there are places shaped by time, water, wind, fire, and human imagination. Some feel ancient. Some feel untouched. Others feel like they belong to a story rather than a map. In this journey, we're counting down the top 50 most beautiful places on Earth, moving slowly from hidden wonders to icons that feel almost unreal. Stay with us until the very end, because number 1 is not just a destination, it's a reminder of why we travel at all. At number 50, we begin in Chefchaouen, Morocco. Hidden in the Reef Mountains, Chefchaouen is known as the Blue City, a place where nearly every wall, doorway, and staircase is washed in shades of blue. The color softens the light, cools the air, and creates an atmosphere of calm that's instantly felt. Wandering its quiet alleys feels like walking through a dream painted by hand. Come early in the morning, before the city wakes, and Chefchaouen feels suspended in time. At number 49, we move to Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. Stretching endlessly across the high plains of Bolivia, Salar de Uyuni is the largest salt flat on Earth. For much of the year, it appears as a vast white desert, but after rain, it transforms completely. The surface becomes a perfect mirror, reflecting the sky so clearly that the horizon disappears. Standing here feels disorienting, almost magical, as if the world has doubled itself. At number 48, we arrive at Petra, Jordan. Petra is not revealed all at once, and that's part of its power. After walking through a narrow canyon carved by time, the city suddenly appears, its rose-colored facade glowing against the stone. Entire temples and tombs were carved directly into the rock over 2,000 years ago. Visit at sunrise or by candlelight at night, and Petra feels less like ruins, and more like a secret kept alive. At number 47, we head north to Banff National Park, Canada. Set deep within the Canadian Rockies, Banff is defined by scale and color. Snow-capped peaks rise sharply above turquoise lakes, while dense pine forests stretch in every direction. Places like Lake Louise and Moraine Lake glow with colors so intense they almost seem artificial. Banff isn't just beautiful, it's powerful, reminding you how small you are in the best possible way. At number 46, we travel to Santorini, Greece. Perched high above a volcanic caldera, Santorini feels sculpted for drama. Whitewashed villages cling to cliffs, overlooking a deep blue sea formed by ancient eruptions. As the sun sets, the island is bathed in warm light, turning domes and terraces golden. It's one of those places where beauty feels effortless and unforgettable. At number 45, we drift through Ha Long Bay, Vietnam. Thousands of limestone islands rise from emerald waters, their shapes softened by mist and distance. Ha Long Bay feels quiet and mysterious, especially at dawn, when the sea is calm and the air is still. Cruising slowly between the karsts feels like moving through a legend where land and water exist in perfect balance. At number 44, we dive beneath the surface at the Great Barrier Reef, Australia. This is the largest living structure on Earth, a vast underwater world bursting with color and movement. Coral gardens stretch for miles, home to countless species of fish, rays, turtles, and sharks. Snorkeling here feels like entering another dimension, vibrant, delicate, and alive. At number 43, we rise into the skies of Cappadocia, Turkey. Shaped by volcanic eruptions and centuries of erosion, Cappadocia's landscape is unlike anywhere else on Earth. Towering rock formations known as fairy chimneys rise from the ground, hiding ancient cave dwellings within. At sunrise, hundreds of hot air balloons lift gently into the sky, transforming the valley into pure fantasy. At number 42, we journey to the edge of the world, Patagonia. Spanning Chile and Argentina, Patagonia is vast, wild, and unapologetically raw. Glaciers crack and shift, winds sweep across open plains, and jagged peaks rise against endless skies. This is a place for those who seek silence, scale, and landscapes untouched by comfort. At number 41, we arrive in Dubrovnik, Croatia. Encircled by massive stone walls, Dubrovnik rises directly from the Adriatic Sea. Its terracotta rooftops glow under the Mediterranean sun, while narrow streets wind through centuries of history. Walk the city walls at golden hour, and you'll see why this city has captivated travelers for generations. At number 40, we step into Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Hidden beneath layers of jungle, Angkor Wat rises slowly from the landscape, its stone towers reflected in still lotus ponds. Built in the 12th century, this vast temple complex feels less like a monument and more like a city devoted to beauty and belief. Massive tree roots weave through ancient walls, reminding us how nature and time gently reclaim everything. Visit at sunrise, when the temple glows softly against the sky, and Angkor feels almost sacred. At number 39, we enter Yosemite National Park, United States. Granite cliffs rise thousands of feet above the valley floor, carved by glaciers over millions of years. Waterfalls thunder in spring, while ancient sequoias stand silently, some older than entire civilizations. Yosemite is a place of scale where nature doesn't perform for you, but invites you to look up, slow down, and feel small in the most humbling way. At number 38, we move to Kyoto, Japan. Kyoto's beauty lies in its restraint. Wooden temples sit quietly among gardens of moss and stone, while narrow streets reveal tea houses and hidden shrines. During cherry blossom season, pale pink petals fall gently through the air, transforming the city into a living painting. Kyoto teaches you that beauty doesn't need to be loud, it only needs to be intentional. At number 37, we escape to the Maldives. Scattered across the Indian Ocean, the Maldives feels like a dream built on water. Shallow lagoons glow in shades of turquoise, coral reefs pulse with life beneath the surface, and white sand islands appear almost weightless. Sunrise and sunset here blur the line between sea and sky, creating moments of absolute stillness. At number 36, we climb high into the Andes to Machu Picchu, Peru. Hidden for centuries above the clouds, Machu Picchu reveals itself slowly through mist and stone. Terraced slopes cascade down steep mountainsides, blending seamlessly with the surrounding peaks. Built with astonishing precision, the city feels deeply connected to the land, a reminder that ancient civilizations understood harmony in ways we're still learning. At number 35, we follow the coastline to the Amalfi Coast, Italy. Here, colorful villages spill dramatically down cliffs toward the Mediterranean below. Winding roads hug the coastline, revealing breathtaking views at every turn. Lemon groves scent the air, and the sea reflects shifting shades of blue. The Amalfi Coast feels cinematic, a place where beauty unfolds slowly, mile by mile. At number 34, we return to the wild in Torres del Paine, Chile. Sharp granite towers pierce the Patagonian sky, rising above glacial lakes and open grasslands. Light changes rapidly here, painting the landscape in new colors by the hour. This is nature at its most raw, unpredictable, powerful, and unforgettable. At number 33, we drift to Bora Bora, French Polynesia. A volcanic peak rises from a lagoon so blue it almost defies belief. Coral reefs encircle the island, while palm trees sway gently in warm ocean breezes. Whether viewed from above or beneath the water, Bora Bora feels like the purest expression of paradise. At number 32, we move into the Dolomites, Italy. Jagged limestone peaks rise sharply against the sky, glowing pink and gold at sunrise and sunset, a phenomenon locals call in Rosadira. Alpine meadows bloom with wildflowers in summer, while snow transforms the landscape in winter. The Dolomites feel sculpted, dramatic, and deeply inviting. At number 31, we arrive in Iceland. A land shaped by fire and ice, Iceland feels like the earth in motion. Waterfalls plunge from volcanic cliffs, glaciers stretch across vast plains, and steam rises from the ground itself. Every road leads to something unexpected, making Iceland feel less like a destination and more like an experience unfolding. At number 30, we arrive on the vast plains of the Serengeti, Tanzania. Stretching endlessly beneath wide African skies, the Serengeti is one of the most iconic natural landscapes on Earth. Golden grasslands ripple in the wind, broken only by acacia trees and distant herds. Each year, millions of wildebeest and zebra move across the plains in one of the greatest wildlife migrations on the planet. The Serengeti isn't just beautiful, it's alive, raw, and deeply primal. At number 29, we glide into Venice, Italy. Built entirely on water, Venice feels like a city from another time. Canals replace roads, gondolas drift silently past centuries-old palaces, and reflections shimmer with every movement. At dawn or late at night, when the crowds fade, Venice becomes quiet and fragile, a floating masterpiece slowly drifting between past and present. At number 28, we step into the surreal landscapes of Zhangjiajie, China. Towering sandstone pillars rise straight from the forest floor, often wrapped in mist and cloud. Dense greenery clings to vertical rock faces, creating a landscape that feels almost unreal. It's no surprise these formations inspired entire fantasy worlds. Zhangjiajie looks less like Earth and more like imagination made solid. At number 27, we travel to the remote Faroe Islands. Lost in the North Atlantic, the Faroe Islands feel raw and untouched. Steep green cliffs plunge directly into the ocean. Waterfalls fall straight into the sea, and small villages cling to the land. The weather shifts constantly, creating dramatic light that makes every moment feel cinematic. At number 26, we cross into the silence of Wadi Rum, Jordan. A vast desert of red sand and towering rock formations, Wadi Rum feels ancient and eternal. Wind-carved cliffs rise from the ground like monuments, while shadows stretch endlessly at sunset. Often called the Valley of the Moon, this is a place where silence becomes part of the landscape, powerful and humbling. At number 25, we find storybook symmetry at Lake Bled, Slovenia. An emerald lake cradles a tiny island topped by a church, while a medieval castle watches from the cliffs above. Forested hills frame the scene perfectly, reflecting softly in the water. Lake Bled feels designed rather than discovered, calm, balanced, and quietly magical. At number 24, we move through Antelope Canyon, United States. Hidden beneath the desert surface, Antelope Canyon is a narrow sandstone passage carved by water over thousands of years. Light filters through the cracks above, creating flowing waves of color along the canyon walls. Every step reveals a new shape, a new glow, as if the rock itself is alive. At number 23, we sail into Fiordland, New Zealand. Here, sheer cliffs rise dramatically from dark, still waters, while waterfalls plunge straight into the sea. Rainforests cling to steep slopes, untouched and lush. In places like Milford Sound, mist softens the landscape, making Fiordland feel ancient, wild, and profoundly peaceful. At number 22, we arrive in Paris, France. Paris reveals its beauty slowly. Grand boulevards, quiet riverbanks, ornate bridges, and sunlit cafes come together to create a city shaped by centuries of art, architecture, and everyday life. Whether viewed from above or explored on foot, Paris feels timeless, elegant without trying. At number 21, we wander through Plitvice Lakes National Park, Croatia. Terraced lakes spill into one another through a network of cascading waterfalls, all connected by wooden walkways that hover just above the water. The colors shift constantly from deep green to brilliant turquoise. Plitvice feels like a living fairy tale, shaped entirely by water and time. At number 20, we arrive at the Avenue of the Baobabs, Madagascar. One of the most recognizable and surreal landscapes in all of Africa, the Avenue of the Baobabs is a dirt road lined with towering ancient trees, some over 800 years old. Often called upside-down trees because of their root-like branches, these baobabs rise dramatically from the flat land. At sunset, golden light stretches their shadows across the ground, transforming the road into something timeless and almost mythical. It feels like walking through a story passed down for centuries. At number 19, we move to Mount Fuji, Japan. Perfectly symmetrical and deeply sacred, Mount Fuji rises gracefully above lakes, forests, and villages. Often veiled in clouds, the mountain reveals itself slowly, rewarding patience. Whether viewed in cherry blossom season or snow-covered in winter, Fuji feels less like a mountain and more like a symbol of balance, spirituality, and quiet beauty. At number 18, we travel to Cinque Terre, Italy. 5 small villages cling to steep cliffs along the Ligurian coastline, connected by narrow paths and the sea below. Houses painted in warm, vibrant colors contrast with the deep blue of the Mediterranean. As boats drift past and waves crash gently below, Cinque Terre feels like a painting brought to life, joyful, dramatic, and unmistakably Italian. At number 17, we step into the vastness of the Sahara Desert. Endless dunes roll toward the horizon, shaped constantly by wind and light. At sunrise and sunset, the sand glows in shades of gold, amber, and deep red. In the stillness of the Sahara, scale becomes impossible to measure, and silence becomes something you can almost feel. Beauty here is found in simplicity and space. At number 16, we slow down in Hoi An, Vietnam. By day, Hoi An's yellow-walled buildings and wooden shopfronts reflect centuries of trade and culture. But at night, the town truly comes alive. Lanterns illuminate the streets and rivers, casting warm reflections across the water. The air feels gentle, inviting, as if time has agreed to move just a little slower here. At number 15, we stand before Victoria Falls, Zambia in Zimbabwe, known locally as Mosi Oa Tunya, the smoke that thunders. Victoria Falls is one of the most powerful waterfalls on Earth. A vast curtain of water plunges into the gorge below, sending mist high into the air. Rainbows often form in the spray, adding color to an already overwhelming display of natural force. At number 14, we enter the Amazon rainforest. Dense, layered, and endlessly alive, the Amazon is the largest rainforest on the planet. Rivers snake through a sea of green, while life thrives at every level, from the forest floor to the canopy above. The Amazon is not just beautiful, it's vital, mysterious, and full of stories still waiting to be told. At number 13, we walk through Rome, Italy. In Rome, history surrounds you at every turn. Ancient ruins stand beside Renaissance churches and lively cafes, creating layers of beauty built over thousands of years. From the Colosseum to quiet piazzas, Rome feels lived in and eternal, a city where the past never truly leaves. At number 12, we rise into the Swiss Alps. Snow-capped peaks stretch across the horizon, while alpine lakes reflect the sky like glass. Small villages sit peacefully in green valleys below, connected by winding mountain roads and railways. The Alps feel pristine and balanced, a place where nature and tradition exist in harmony. At number 11, we reach Mount Cook, New Zealand. New Zealand's highest peak rises sharply above glacial lakes and wide valleys. Light moves constantly across the mountains, changing the mood by the minute. Mount Cook feels powerful yet serene, a place that invites reflection as much as exploration. At number 10, we arrive at Mount Bromo, Indonesia. Rising from a vast volcanic plain, Mount Bromo feels like a scene from another planet. Ash-covered land stretches endlessly, broken only by smoking craters and distant ridgelines. At sunrise, the sky ignites in soft oranges and pinks, revealing layers of volcanoes fading into the horizon. It's raw, dramatic, and deeply humbling, a reminder that the Earth is still very much alive. At number 9, we step into Aït Benhaddou, Morocco. Rising from the desert like a mirage, Aït Benhaddou is an ancient earthen village built entirely from clay and straw. Its towers glow warm gold in the sunlight, blending seamlessly into the surrounding landscape. Once a vital stop along caravan routes, today it feels frozen in time, a place where history, architecture, and desert light create something truly cinematic. At number 8, we journey to Lake Tekapo, New Zealand. Set against a backdrop of snow-capped mountains, Lake Tekapo glows with an unreal milky turquoise color caused by glacial minerals. During the day, the landscape feels vast and pristine. At night, it transforms into one of the world's best stargazing locations, where the Milky Way stretches brilliantly across the sky. Beauty here exists both above and below. At number 7, we explore the Azores, Portugal. Rising from the middle of the Atlantic, the Azores feel wild and untouched. Volcanic craters cradle emerald lakes, waterfalls spill through dense greenery, and steam rises from geothermal springs. The islands feel alive, constantly shaped by earth and ocean, a place where nature takes the lead and humans simply follow. At number 6, we arrive in Raja Ampat, Indonesia. Scattered across crystal-clear waters, Raja Ampat is a labyrinth of jungle-covered islands, surrounded by some of the richest coral reefs on the planet. From above, the islands form intricate patterns of green and blue. Below the surface, marine life flourishes in dazzling color. Raja Ampat feels like a hidden world, untouched, vibrant, and endlessly beautiful. At number 5, we stand beneath Iguazu Falls, Argentina and Brazil. Here, hundreds of waterfalls crash through dense rainforest, filling the air with thunder and mist. Walkways bring you close enough to feel the power of the water as rainbows form effortlessly in the spray. Iguazu isn't quiet or subtle, it's overwhelming in the most unforgettable way. At number 4, we reach the Okavango Delta, Botswana. In the heart of the Kalahari Desert, water spreads instead of flowing to the sea. The Okavango Delta transforms dry land into a lush network of channels, islands, and floodplains teeming with wildlife. From above, it looks like life itself is weaving through the desert, rare, fragile, and astonishingly beautiful. At number 3, we arrive at Mount Roraima, Venezuela. Rising abruptly from the jungle below, Mount Roraima looks like a lost world lifted straight from myth. Its flat summit is often wrapped in cloud, with waterfalls spilling dramatically from its edges. One of the oldest geological formations on Earth, it feels ancient, mysterious, and completely disconnected from modern time. At number 2, we journey to Socotra Island, Yemen. Often described as the most alien-looking place on Earth, Socotra is home to plant species found nowhere else. Dragon blood trees spread their umbrella-shaped canopies across rocky landscapes, creating scenes that feel entirely fictional. This is evolution in isolation, strange, fragile, and breathtakingly unique. And finally, at number 1, we arrive in Wulingyuan Scenic Area, China. Thousands of towering stone pillars rise vertically from forested valleys, their tops disappearing into mist and cloud. Paths wind through deep gorges, while glass bridges hang high above the landscape. Wulingyuan feels like a place imagined before it was real, a fairy tale landscape that exists exactly as it is. It's not just one of the most beautiful places on Earth, it's one of the most unforgettable. Now we'd love to hear from you. What do you think is the most beautiful place on Earth? And which destination would you add to this list? Tell us in the comments, we read every single one. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to Jetlag Stories. It helps us keep creating cinematic travel stories like this and sharing the beauty of the world.